Hey, everyone. I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had an absolutely wonderful and amazing week. For those of you who tune in to Mental Health Moment, we are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. For those of you who are tuning in for the very, very first time, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And for those of you who are tuning in on the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube, thanks so much for watching this replay. Be sure to like this video, share the video, and subscribe to the page. And thanks for those of you who are starting to join here. It is Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who have been following the last couple of weeks, I have been going through my newest book, which is Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow, which is on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, BooksAMillion.com, and other online book retail stores. Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow. If you have missed any of the mental health moments leading up to this one that you're watching, then you can always go to Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page and watch the rest of the episodes. Okay, so today we are going to be going over I'm going to be going over chapter 14 with you all. Again, thanks for those who are starting to join here. Let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from. I do apologize. 99.1% of the time, I feel like I can be live with you all, which I love being live with you all on Mental Health Moment. Today, I'm actually going to be volunteering, or not volunteering, but going to an event for the Ryan Neese Foundation with some amazing juniors and seniors. So I will be there at their event. So there is a conflict, unfortunately, around this time. So I am pre-recording this, but definitely still stay on. Still let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Talk and encourage one another and be supportive of one another. Very important, right? As a community that we do that. But I still wanted to pre-record this for you all because I didn't want to leave y'all hanging this week. And we're like midway through the book. Not midway, but actually more than midway through the book. Okay, anyhow. All right, so I'm going to go through this here. Again, for those of you just not joining, it's Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow, which was my newest book that was just released this September. Just crazy. The time is flying. So again, if you have the book, you can highlight, take notes, underline, whatever it is you need. If you don't have the book, you can always follow along, obviously, here with us as well. So chapter 14 is about, and I've talked about this a while back, actually, on Mental Health Moment, but it's about how do you create a mental health detox for yourself, right? So a lot of times when we hear the word detox, we think of our physical bodies, of course, very important as well, obviously. But also there's a mental health side of sort of taking a deeper dive and detoxing all the clutter that we have in our brains and our minds and our hearts, all of that stuff, right? So essentially for this chapter here, I talk about, well, what it is and essentially how you can do this. And one of the questions, I'm going to read it here, but one of the questions that I ask in this chapter that you ask yourself is, what do I need to change right now to become the most emotionally healthy version of myself? Okay. So I'm going to repeat that for you all. What do I need to change right now to become the best emotionally healthy version of myself? If you really sit with yourself on this question, all of you will have different responses, and that's okay. But it's answering that question first and really working on your self-awareness of where is it for you that you think that you need to grow as a person emotionally, right? So, and for those of you new, hey, thanks so much for joining here today. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment is all about how can you work on becoming the best version of yourself so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for those around you. So I gave some examples in this chapter, but again, it is first is taking an examination for you. And then the second thing is, um, well, what is it? What's your answer? So, for example, it can be taking a social media break. Maybe for you, you're like, you know what? I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much going on in my life, in my family life, my friend life, the world, all the things. And you're just so overwhelmed. And sometimes social media can be very overwhelming. And you say, you know what, for me and my emotions and my emotional health, I need to take a break from social media. Cool. Right. How long of a break do you need? It depends. I mean, do you need like a day break? Do you need a month break? I know some people take a year break. I would not be taking a year break. Don't worry, you all, from social media. Just as an aside, because I do quite love social media and I love interacting and socializing on social media and being here with you all. So, but again, I mean, do what works best for you. I say that humorously because again, I know people that are like, up, I'm off all social media platforms. Um, do what works best for you. And it may look one of the ways may be in some sort of break for social media. For me, when I do take social media breaks, it's maybe a couple hours. Because for me, when I examine, that's not really something that I feel personally, again, we're all different, that I would benefit from taking like a 6-month social media break. Like that for me doesn't feel um like that would be something that I need to do right now. Maybe I do. No, I'm just playing. But that's that's not it for me. But again, you have to examine for you what that is. Okay. Sometimes it could be maybe you need to watch less TV. Maybe you need to think about different activities that you're engaged in that are not good for your mental health, right? Or physical health, frankly. Maybe you need to, and here's the thing about a detox. Let me put the book down for a second. Here's the thing about a detox. I know when you think of detox, sometimes it's usually like rid the body of toxins and that sort of thing. It does work the same way when it comes to mental health, of thinking about how can you rid your brain of the clutter, but also you can add things in as well. So if you need to add in positivity in whatever form that looks like. So here's it. So speaking of social media, um, the other part of the positive part of social media is there are positive accounts that you can follow. There are a ton of positive and kind people doing amazing things on social media that you can follow, right? So like tuning into that or finding maybe better friends. And that's okay. If you're in that boat, you're like, you know what? I need my friends to be more positive or more supportive or whatever it is around you that you can say, okay, I need to engage in these particular activities that bring me more joy, that bring me more positivity. That's all a part of a mental health detox, right? Taking out, subtracting some things and adding some things in. um the other part, well, I talked about exercise in here, but the other thing I want to get to in here is again some other questions for you to be asking yourself. All right. This book, for those of you who already have it and you've already sent me messages, thank you for your kind messages. But it's really about you reflecting. A lot of times we don't make the time to reflect and to really think about what are our needs. Like, where is it that you need to go next? Where is it that you need to grow as a person, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally? So, um, well, I talked about exercise here. I'm gonna just skip over that part because that takes a little bit longer than we have time for our mental health moment. But there is an exercise in here for you to do and for you to think about. But the other part I do want to read to you when you're continuing to add in the positive things as a part of that detox. So again, ridding yourself of certain situations or activities or people or whatever it is that's not good for your mental health, and also adding in the things that are good for your mental health. And there's a couple of things, a couple of affirmations that could be helpful to you when you think about reading, not just reading the words, but working on really like working on letting those words sink in for you until you believe them, because you may not believe them right away, and that's okay. But one of the things that the theme of this book, you all, let me spoiler alert, is to make yourself your number one priority. So, so type that in the chat. Make yourself your number one priority. Make yourself your number one priority. Make yourself your number one priority. What do I mean by that? You really have to start to think about your mental health. You really have to start to think about your well-being, your overall wellness. You have to think about those things. I'm telling you this. I am telling you this, and I've shared it before many times on Mental Health Moment as a person that did not do that for so long. When you do what like when you do change your mindset and when you do become that person that can really start to make yourself your number one priority, it has a potential to help you so much, you individually as a person and the people around you as well. So here's a couple of things for you to be saying to yourself often, hopefully. Number one, I deserve to make myself my number one priority. I know it's a happy statement, right? Even when you hear that, for some of you, you're like, because maybe you've been taught all your life to not make yourself your number one priority and put everything else above you. Actually, many of us have felt that way, or a lot of people I've talked to, because I am in the space of talking to different organizations and corporations about burnout prevention and about stress management. A lot of things I've heard a theme that I've heard is having guilt for making yourself your number one priority, or having guilt for having self-care, or having guilt for taking care of yourself. I've heard that a lot. And I get that and I understand that. And also there is hope for you and there is change that can happen and your mindset can be changed. Is it overnight? Nope. But taking the steps toward that uh can really start to allow you to thrive in your life. The other thing, number 2, I deserve to be happy. Again, for some of you, and it's okay, you may be in a place when you hear that, you're like, "No, I don't." Your brain literally might be like, "I don't deserve to be happy," for whatever reason. For someone you need to forgive, for needing to forgive yourself, for something that happened, for something you wanted to happen that didn't happen, fill in the blank. Sometimes you may be at an emotional place where you don't feel like you deserve happiness, but you do. So you have to reconvince yourself if you're not already there. And if you're there, cool, cool. And if you're not, cool. Right? Like we're all at different places in our wellness journey. It's okay. Number 3, I deserve to be emotionally healthy. So in addition, this is not separate, but in addition to physically working on your health, and maybe spiritually you're working on your health, also you deserve to be emotionally healthy as well. You deserve to feel, you deserve to have emotions, you deserve to express emotions appropriately, you deserve to have all the feelings that you have. Like you deserve those things, and you deserve to experience your emotions in a healthy way. You deserve that. Number 4, I deserve to have peace in my life. There is no award out there, there's no trophy out there for having to cause unnecessary suffering for yourself and heartache and pain. Sometimes, and it's okay, we're all guilty of it, but sometimes we create heartache and pain for ourselves. Like literally from um how we process certain things. We create that. Like it's in our mind, right? It's our perspective, or it's how we look at a certain situation, and it causes heartache and pain and suffering and all these things, and it we don't you deserve to have peace too. You deserve to have that peace. And the 5th thing on here is I deserve to focus on my mental health. You deserve to focus on your mental health. For a long, 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 long time, you might have been getting messages, fill in the blank from who, of how you don't need to focus on your mental health or don't worry about that sort of thing, but you deserve to focus on your mental health. The other thing that I want to leave you with this chapter is that there when it comes to mental health detox, timing is very important. Of course, the new year is about to start here soon, so there's a ton of momentum. It's one of my favorite times of year because, first of all, I love to see people win. That's one of my things, y'all. In case you didn't know that about me, I love to see people win. I love to see growth. I love to see people just transform. I've had the honor of seeing that through a lot of work that I've done. Uh, but also, I know that sometimes the timing of this whole, mental health detox, it may or may not be the right time. It's the same thing with your physical body, right? You have to check with a physician and, certain things you do, don't do crazy diets without checking with your physician. It's the same sort of thing sometimes when it comes to mental health detox. You may be going through something so difficult right now, and you're like, Dr. Hammond, I'm in my darkest hour. Dr. Hammond, this is so hard. I've just had some huge traumatic event. I feel like I'm surviving right now and I'm not thriving. Like sometimes you might have to just work on that, right? And work through getting through that particular situation, hopefully with the help of a friend or a family member or a mental health professional or whomever it is you need to help you to get through that time, because you don't have to do that alone. But sometimes it's not always the right time to have a mental health detox, and that's okay. So I think I more or less said that at the end of this chapter, but at some point, I recommend that you think about adding in that mental health detox to your life. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up here because I gotta go you all to this event today. But again, if you're just tuning in, mindset training, conquer your mind, and the rest will follow. We have been going through these chapters. Next week, we will start on chapter 15, you all. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, we're almost done with the book. So I've been highlighting just each week different parts of the chapter. Again, if you have the book, great. Highlight, underline, do what you need to do. If you just want to show up and be like, I just want to hear what the book's about, all good. You can come to, everybody's welcome. So mindsettrainingbook.com. Also, by the way, for those of you who are not already in it, if you have purchased the book, you can go to that site and be a part of the Wellness Wednesday community, which essentially each week, I've been doing that now. I think I don't know, it's been a while, 6 months or so. I don't know. I'm losing track of time, y'all, but a long time. People that bought the book went to the site, put in, the information that's on that site. And one of the things is being a part of the Wellness Wednesday community, which is completely free. And essentially every Wednesday you'll get a text and or email, and it'll be a short video. I try to make it a minute or less. I know everybody's busy, everybody, we're all busy. But a minute or less of just a quick tip, something to do for that week for your wellness. So if you're interested in that, again, mindsettrainingbook.com, you can put in all your information there. Something I started, like I said, about 6 months or so ago, when the book was on pre-order. I will probably be continuing to do that for the time being. And I think those are all my announcements for now. drnikishahammond.com is where we're working really hard with the team to keep everything as updated as possible. Everything is updated as possible. As far as speaking events next year, I will be on book tour. I will let you all know what cities I will be in as soon as I know. And I'll let you know, like I said, the events and all that sort of good stuff as well. If you want to follow me, social media, it's Dr. Nikisha Hammond, DrNekesha Hammond on all social media platforms. And I think those are all my announcements for today. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Be blessed. I will see you all next week, next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Have a great week, you guys. Bye, guys.